Alright, those last 2 rounds didn't go so well, but this is gonna turn things around. Merfolk and Blood Moon are fairly bad matchups for Jeskai. Quite possibly the worst matchups for Jeskai. So Serum Vision, Serum Vision, Serum Visions. Technically we don't even need this land yet. But, that said, we do want it. So I think we'll just keep those on top. See what our opponent's up to. We can even keep up Spell Snare. Leaves all our options open. Or we can even Helix if we need to. It's a cool picture. Time Spiral. Sleight o' Hand. That makes me definitely want to keep up Spell Snare. Alright, so we're gonna draw Serum Visions, and then Scry 2. And I'll bottom both of those lands. Another sleight of hand. So it could be an Ascension deck, I guess, is most likely at this point. Could be something else, though. Alright. I think I'm fine taking 2 here, actually. And then Serum Visionsing. Since my life total shouldn't be that relevant. And I'll bottom both of these. Lots of bottoming, but still Serum Vision's doing good work, even when it's bottoming, because it means you aren't drawing those bad cards. The more you know. So we're able to snare an Ascension, or just have nothing happen. Okay. Strange. Hashtag strange. Alright, probe. Pain 2 as well is interesting. What the? Sure. I mean, that's good for us, considering we have these path to exiles. And a helix. Metamorphose. We want to helix that in response. This isn't great against mutagenic growth, but if our opponent has mutagenic growth, we can just snare that. Ritual? Alright, I'm just snaring this. I maybe should have waited for another ritual, but I'm confused. And I don't want to get, like, if our opponent went land, empty the warrens, we would be in a lot of trouble. It might just be like Niv Magus Elemental, I guess, and a bunch of spells. Moorland Hunt doesn't seem too bad as far as lands go at this point. Sure. Alright, I'm gonna let that happen too. Another one. Is it just empty the warrens? It's pretty bad for us. Noxious Revival. Okay. That's fine. Grape shot. Sure. How many of these you got? Three? Empty the ones. Okay. Okay, so that puts us out of range. Can attack with Colonnade. Then tap our opponent down, and then attack for the win? Question mark? So another grape shot is good here. Maybe I should have pathed immediately, because now path is going to add to a grape shot. I can actually block though, and then make a token if the damage is low enough. Looks like grape shot's gonna get us no matter what though. What the? What is this card? Storm Entity? Why don't Storm decks play this card? It has Storm in the name. Alright, so we're not dead. And we have Cryptic. So if we draw an untapped land, we can make a 1/1 and have lethal. If we draw like Lightning Helix, that is also pretty good. A very interesting game it turned out, opponent says, which is very true since I'm at 1. So I can't activate this to cast Helix after attacking with Colonnade, so I have to tap down with Cryptic, and then I can survive a Grape Shot, and then win the game. Opponent says, nice play on pathing one goblin earlier. Which is true. Thank you, opponent. Thank you. Oh, and they're dead. This opponent has a very good... very good disposition about them. Alright, explosives are going to be good against pretty much everything, and anger is going to be good against pretty much everything. And path is fine, but I think we want bolt more for the early game, although there's storm elemental, so I'm not too sure about that. Since bolt storm entity or whatever it's called can get too big for us. Remand is okay, although probably on the draw it might be a little too slow. Cleek, also okay. I probably want Spell Quellers. Cryptic is probably just too slow for this matchup. Rather have Cleek, I think. And enough removal. Snapcast? Why is there a Snapcaster? Why is there ever a Snapcaster in the sideboard? Yeah. You know what? Maybe Path is more valuable than Bolt here for dealing with Storm Entity. Alright. Let's keep the curve low. Alright, this looks good enough. Turn 3 anger is pretty good. Weird. I think I want the spell up on turn 1. Honestly. The next turn I can Serum Visions, and then the turn after I can Anger. Probe. Oh, the old bait and switch. I think I got a serum here. Bolt. Bolt isn't gonna help us, honestly, against Ascension. This leaves up the spell, but we don't have to use it necessarily. I think if we can dispel something, we will, though. Or a lot of things like that. Denies a card draw and 2 mana. And we want to deny card draw with Ascension out. I'm at 11. Honestly, spell coin something is pretty good here. Even though it dies to anger, I think I need to leave it up though. And start denying spells. It's rough because it makes anger worse and it punishes our life total though. Okay. Alright, path is great. Here. Certain visions. Attacking. We'll block because we have path. Phoretic Ritual just being used as a +1/+1. So if nothing bad happens, like Dispel, we're in a pretty good spot actually, it appears. though things could go very wrong in an instant. Or sorcery. Looks like just Flutterino. And we can keep Dispel up. Poor Ascension, no counters. I guess diluting the deck with creatures does not help. Out of lands to fetch. Yeah, that was definitely some mana flood. And Noxious Revival for the death. Sudoku. Alright, one more round.